When it was announced in 2019 that Vortex would be closing at Kings Island, enthusiasts instantly started guessing what could be added in that plot of land that once held the large-scale Arrow Looper. With the new Giga added to the park in 2020, it may be a couple of seasons before they add a new roller coaster, but let's speculate on what could come next to Kings Island. Let's jump into the park's lineup and see if we can sniff out any holes. Starting with the 4 wooden roller coasters at the park, Mystic Timbers is a world-class wooden roller coaster that opened in 2017 by GCI, while Beast is a more aggressive classic and the world's longest. Add in the Dueling Racer for a more family-friendly and oriented ride experience, and then throw in Woodstock Express for the younger guest. I think it's pretty safe to say the park will stay away from the wooden roller coaster market and not add to the already world record amount of wooden roller coaster track at the park. Then we have the massive B&Ms. Orion is a new for 2020 Giga, which paired with the Hyper Diamondback means the park has plenty of floater airtime to go around. Banshee may be a little rough in the back, but the inverted coaster is easily one of the most intense and well-paced attractions around. For a change of pace, you can ride the Bat for that rare swinging arrow, or Invertigo for an inverted boomerang, or Flight of Fear for an indoor multi-inversion launched ride. For a family launch coaster, there's also Backlot Stunt Coaster, and a family invert and Flying Aces. Throw in Adventure Express, which is easily one of the better mine trains out there, and finally the Great Pumpkin Coaster for the kids. Now, in all honesty, this park lineup feels incredible and well put together without many holes at all. Looking at the type of rides that Cedar Fair has added in the last 5 years, I think there are a couple options here. I think the park could really use an outdoor launch coaster, maybe some more elegant inversions, and even that ever-craved RMC. Now, the open plot left by Vortex sits around 500 feet by 425 feet. It's a really sizable land area with a little bit of extra room in the back if needed to clear trees. However, that would kind of interfere with the Beast's remote feel and should be avoided if needed. Now, let's check out the launch coaster first. I think the easiest idea here has to be that mock multi-launch, similar to Carowind's Copperhead Strike. The ride sits on a 600 by 220 foot plot, and it could easily be changed to be a little bit more rectangular and fit in the footprint just fine. Now, another style that intrigues me by mock is their taller ones that are going to China. One model is being built with a massive top hat and huge inversions, and I think that height offers an interesting option outside of those lower to the ground inversion layouts. Now, it would also include some of those more elegant and graceful hang time filled inversions. Flight of Fear and Banshee are much more intense style rides, where a mock could appeal to an even larger audience. Now, if the park wants a different manufacturer, Gerstlauer can also offer a more compact hang time experience, either with or without a launch. Now, you can see rides like Hang Time at Knott's or Shellraiser at Nickelodeon Universe that could easily fit in this plot of land. Now, another big graceful looper that could come to the park might be that 4th B&M, in either a dive or wing style. Now, the chain may be a little bit weary adding a ride that already exists at Cedar Point, which is only a few hours away. The park has Valraven and Gatekeeper. But that being said, I think a large-scale dive coaster like Valraven could be a great fit. It not only fits nearly perfectly in the plot, but it would also be a capacity monster. Throw in an extra inversion or two, and add another awesome piece to an already stunning skyline. Now, the other Cedar Point coaster that could be a great fit here is an RMC Hybrid. Now, this one would be ground up, unlike Mean Streak's conversion, but Steel Vengeance may be a little too large to fit here anyway. That being said, the smaller scale RMCs can fit rather easily. Now, I think RMC could work some real magic in the plot and easily fit a ride the size and style of Iron Gwazi. While the park has some sharp airtime in Mystic Timbers and some of Diamondback's hills, the sustained ejector of an RMC is just something different. My only real concern here would be adding even more intensity and crazy pacing to a park that is filled with rides of that style. Then again, this size of an RMC can draw thrill seekers from around the country, let alone the local area, and it could be very easy to market, especially if you pair it with the contrast of Orion's easygoing speed and floater for an extremely marketable pair of roller coasters. Honestly, I could see the park getting a couple of years of smaller additions before one of these major attractions comes, but I do think that the next addition will be a large-scale investment like Orion to push forward the effort to make this a true multi-day park like Cedar Point. My guess would probably be around 2024 we'll see another massive coaster get built. Now normally I would go into what these models could cost the park, but this is one of those few parks that I don't think will really be hampered by too much of a budget. Cedar Point, Kings Island, Magic Mountain, these parks are jewels of their chains and will be treated as such, and when their additions do come, they're going to get more than smaller parks. Now if I had to pick one specific attraction, I think that mock multi-launch is the most likely. Throw in a large-scale top hat and some bigger inversions, paired with some fun airtime throughout for another outstanding addition and another top 5 ride in the park. So that's going to wrap it up for this week. What do you think this park will add next, and do you think it may be a while before we see such an addition? If you enjoyed this style of video, make sure to check out the playlist or the rest of the channel. And don't forget to drop a like or sub, it really helps the channel grow and I appreciate it. So till next time, that's all from the shores of Island Coasters.